Hi, my name's Dee, your Professor of Woo Woo, and welcome to Sunchild Tarot, and welcome to the general reading for Libra. So Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, whatever aspect of your chart you're wanting to look at. If you don't know your rising sign, on the websites, YouTube, BitChute, Odyssey, then there will be a link down below for the how to get yourself a free birth chart, but you can also look at astro.com or Nadia Shah's website, whatever it is, or Stormy Grace or whoever. Always watch your rising sign. So as a general reading rules apply. Timing is far from absolute. This isn't a take what resonates reading. This is a take the lot or take nothing. Now, there is a past and a present in this reading, in the spread. And if the past and the present fit, then you'll know it's for you. And the other way that you'll know it's for you is before I start reading the cards that I have laid out in front of me. And if I'm looking weird, I am recording for YouTube. So I'm looking at you, YouTube, BitChute, Odyssey, and Instagram. I'm live streaming. Hi, Instagram. I'm getting very confused about which particular camera to look at, but there's I've forgotten what I was saying now with all the technical bits there, but yeah, there would be a link down below. General reading, ask a question. That's where I was. So take a moment, think about all of the questions that are around you, focus on one of them, but think about all of them, be aware of all of them, because as you know, if you've watched my readings before, cards will answer what they want. And it's not necessarily what you and I think is the highest priority. So be aware of all your questions. You may find that the cards will answer a different one, but they will tend to focus on definitely one of them. You may hear echoes of the others. So on the website's ones, I'll just change the camera so they can see the cards in front of me. It's a Celtic cross. I am using two different decks. I am using the Tarot Apocalypsis, and I've lost the box for the other one. But there it is. I found these on eBay on Christmas. I suppose I should change the camera for the Supernatural Tarot. How cool is that? And they are actually a really, really nice set. But then again, I watched every single episode. So, I mean, of course I did. I'm a geek. Right. So I assume you will have settled your question now. So again, I'll just change the camera back for the websites. So we start the situation where you are at the moment. You have options. And I believe that you're trying to figure out. This is really interesting. I've got Seven of Cups clarified by Seven of Pentacles. So there's something that you have put a lot of work in. It's something that I think had been quite inspired in the past by some message, some information that came to you, where you suddenly went, aha, that's what I'm going to do. That's how I'm going to do it. That is what I am here for, or what I am, that it just sounds so right. Do you know what I mean? So we have the Emperor clarified by the Page of Blades. So Page of Swords. So Page of Swords can be that information coming to you, often electronic. But with the Page of Blades here, this character in Supernatural was the second prophet. It was the guy that translated the stone with all the bits about demons on them, and anyway, he could understand divine and angelic language and was a translator for God and what have you. So there's that element of that almost divine inspiration, that something plopping into your awareness that makes you go, oh my God, I never thought of that. That makes so much sense. That's so perfect. I'm going to do this. And you've started building your own Empire might be a strong word. I'm feeling more with this particular emperor that you was going on your own quest. But it was a quest to build, it was a quest to establish, and you have been putting the work in, as we see by this Seven of Pentacles. And now it's like, right, where do I take all this now? Now, what is blocking you? We have strength with the Six of Pentacles. So I rather suspect that there is something that provides physical, material, real world money, even value. But I'm really getting the feeling that it's entrenched. You know, it's almost like you've taken this project and you've gone so far with it. You've taken this idea, this concept, but you've sort of backed yourself into a corner. And it's, can I really? I've got all these options right now, but can I really do anything different to what I am doing right now? And what Spirit is bringing in, what crowns the situation, we have the Seven of Pentacles again. So there's certain aspects of your work that maybe have paid off and certain aspects of your work that haven't paid off. But I think the ones that haven't paid off yet, I want to stress yet, are the ones that you find more interesting, are the ones that they're the reason why you've started doing this in the first place. And next to that, we have, clarifying it, the Sun card. And I have got no idea who this particular character is. I cannot remember for the life of me. Let me turn that so it's not reflecting on from the light so much. But the Sun card is very much, I call it the happy, happy, joy, joy card. So maybe there's an aspect of the work that you've already done that really jumps out of you and you've gone, I've never actually thought about it that way before. Or what you have created, and I think this is the more likely one, what you have created, as I said, there's been the bit that's paid off and the bit that hasn't paid off yet. And the bit that's paid off is now going to start showing, you get to see a return on your investment, a return on the work that you put in, the effort that you put in, which will enable you to change direction. And I don't see anything particularly wrong with changing direction a little bit. We have the Lovers, which indicates that you've got this choice to make. Do I keep doing the same old, or do I do a 50-50? Do the same old half of the time, and then do what I'm actually wanting to do the other half of the time, which hasn't necessarily paid off yet, but I rather think it's going to, because you've got some really nice cards coming up. So there's the bit that's paid off. I would say that's keeping going. But do you change direction and include the bit that really sets you on fire, that really makes you go, this is why I started doing this thing in the first place? My answer to this here is yes. With the period that we're moving into, there's going to be ups and downs with it. We have the Moon clarified by the Magician. Now, with this Lovers, at the base of the situation, what I want to say is that there is a choice of, do you keep doing the same old, or do you do something, half the same old and half the thing that sets you on fire? And the Moon and the Magician together are saying yes, and it will have ebbs and flows to it. But also, there may be an opportunity to join forces with somebody. Now, here's where this Moon and Magician maybe takes a more negative turn. There's something that you need to, excuse me, something that you need to consider a lot more, because the moon can be that deceit, illusion, trickery, and the magician, trickery, so I would be wary of actually joining forces with another person with what you are doing or trying to create or what have you. It's been all you so far. You're the one that's put the work in. You're the one that's put the effort in. You're the one that's been working towards this goal, and all of a sudden you have options. Yeah, take the options while maintaining some of the same old that's been building the results that you wanted to see. But if someone else is coming in to say, oh, let me help you with that, let me take half the load, as this might indicate, this temperance card that's clarifying the lovers and the fact that there's all these trickery motifs going here with these cards makes me think that you'll go, no. I tell you what, I will do my bit, and then say you're making something and someone else wants to come along and paint it. Fine. You sell them the made thing, and then they do what they want with it. It's their business. They're still working with you because they are taking your products, but you're going, no, we're not going to jump in together and I make this pottery and you paint and glaze it and then we sell it together. I make the raw thing, I sell it to you, you paint and glaze it and do what you want with it. So there's a certain amount of, the magician has control over all of the elements. That's the whole point, that in a standard magician's card, not this one, but in a standard magician's card, you see the cup, the wand, the shield, and the sword. You maintain control over your over everything that you have power to keep control of. And then if someone else is saying, let me do something, fine, there you go. You keep control of the thing you're doing, and I will be controlling my thing over here. Because contrary to what I've just been saying and seeing with those cards, we have the Gemini card from the Star Codes Astro Oracle. I have to look at it every time. I haven't learned its name properly yet, but I love these cards. Now, it has the motif of cross-pollinate. But again, if you think about pollination, a bee picks up pollen somewhere else on one flower and then dumps it on a second flower. There is that transport, take it in, let it go. So they're two separate processes. The bee doesn't care whether the pollen lands on the second flower actually pollinates the flower or not. That's that flower's business. And that, I think, this feels very businessy, but I think you can relate it to, hopefully, you will be able to relate it to your question, say if it's a love question or something. It's where you've been putting the work in. Beware of anyone trying to help you. Because they're going to have, and I don't mean this in a negative way, they are a different person to you, therefore they will have a different agenda to you, therefore they will have different priorities to you, therefore working too closely with them may not serve your priorities in the long term, but working with them in general and not by contract or by close relationship does serve your purposes, but you're handing things off to them and say, yeah, you go and do your thing, I'm going to do my thing. And I'm also looking at these other things because, like I say, you have plenty of options. The option is stay with the tide, tested and true, or do the other things. And I'm saying it's not an or, it's an and. It's stay with the tide, tested and true, and make space for the new options. Because you're bored. Two of Wands. Other people in this situation are boring you. And it's like you have to make this decision. You have to get moving. You have to get things to start moving, and it's going to take a lot of effort. I think there is some resistance, especially if what you have been working on has been getting returns that have been so very good, but they've not been quite what you want. It's not been that thing that it's like a side product or byproduct. That's the word I'm looking for. A byproduct of what it really set that fire up within you, rather than the actual thing that sets the fire within you. So, hopes and fears. We have the High Priestess and the King of Cups. One thing that springs immediately to mind is if someone is very, very charming and they come, I've got a great idea, why don't we do this? Yeah, it's a great idea. And why don't they do that? But you know what your contribution is, and you've got a few other things to do as well. You can help them. You can, like I say, give them the pottery for them to paint and glaze. But I would beware of getting into bed with them, you know, whether that means legally, contractually, work-wise. Make sure everybody's roles are quite defined. And say we're talking in a business way, if they suffer a loss, that is not your loss. And if you suffer a loss, that is not their loss. You're not that intimately linked. But by taking this role, by taking this action, or making this decision and doing what this Seven of Cups implies for you at the moment, there is recognition for you. And there is a clarity of, that's why I was doing this in the first place. So I really like this. That was really brief. But I really like this reading, Libra. So if you're wondering, do I do the same old, or do I try something new? The answer is yes to both. But if somebody else is coming in and saying, oh, let me help you with that, let me get into all the ins and outs of what it is that you're doing. No, they can do their thing over there. And you might be taking them things. It's going to lead you to a better place. But Three of Cups here is support friends. In a relationship can be thinking that there's a third party, but this is the how you're feeling position. So this makes me think of, to a certain extent, too many cooks. You will get to the festivities. We have, from the Greek mythology oracle, we have the Graces representing festivities. But it's, again, knowing your lane. I'm not saying stay in your lane, because you are going to be moving out of the tide tested and true. You're still going to have one foot in it, but not both feet. So it's knowing your lane and knowing that another person that's trying to come and get involved, they've got their own lane. But if they stay in theirs and you stay with yours, admittedly, you're straddling a few here, but there is a beautiful recognition and clarity that is coming to you. And that reason, that, like I say, divine inspiration that I talked about earlier, that when you had that moment of, that's what I want to do. This is how I want to go forward. So it might be what you want to do with your life. It might be what you want to do in just a situation. It might be what you want to do with work or something like that. But whatever it is, that joy and that, oh my God, I see the way, sensation is going to come back to you. But this time, other people around you with this recognition card, they are going to go, yeah, actually, now I see the way that you saw, which is good for you. So it's quite, even with that Gemini card, there's quite a singular role going on in this reading. But all in all, yes, take the other option, but keep doing what you're doing as well. And believe me, the same old, whereas you have been bored with it, it's going to get more interesting because it is supporting you doing all this other stuff. Okay, so if this means anything to you, please feel free to comment on whichever website you're watching this on, and also obviously do all the nice mannered internet things of like, share, subscribe, follow, love heart, whatever, on whichever platform you're watching this in. I'm going to have to do myself a list so I can know all the various things to say on that one. But in the meantime, Libra, stay tuned. There will be some more readings go up in the next week. I might actually get an entire zodiac of readings done this month, which has been a miracle since I've not done that since October. But hopefully there'll be more. Go watch your rising sign if I've done it already. Cheers.